VMC wise, so that's going to be awesome. And perhaps we can just visit San Luis Airport or Santa Maria Airport nearby to practice some Delta Airspace airport entries or departures and arrivals. So that might be fun. I hope you enjoy.
Welcome to the Uncertified Pilot. I'm Tim, and this is my flight simulator.
So I'm just grabbing my iPad here. We are currently at Oceano over here, non-towered airport, gorgeous airport. As I already mentioned a couple of times, the airport where I started my channel. So this is, well, actually Palm Springs International feels more like my home base here in the PilotEdge area on my channel, because that was the place when I first contacted a PilotEdge control tower, and well, I was quite nervous and quite anxious to do that, so somehow that emotionally tied me to Palm Springs more than to Oceano, but still Oceano was my starting point here, which is great. So as you can see, we've got a couple of airports around. Up to the north, San Luis, very nearby, 10 miles. Never been there before on PilotEdge or even just offline. Hey Kimo, welcome. And Santa Maria to the south here. I would like to go to San Luis because I think in the previous V ratings, which are now CAT ratings, the V2 was it? Am I right? No, that's not. No, that's not right. I thought that it was an introductory flight from Oceano to San Luis. Instructed on the PilotEdge website to introduce new pilots who were new to the PilotEdge network to just explore PilotEdge and have a very simple first general flight. So yeah, that's what reminded me of San Luis. Yeah, that's interesting. I have no idea what San Luis looks like as an airport. I see two runways here. I also see some green flight category depictions. So to the south of us, Santa Maria, what kind of METAR do we have? Variable 04 knots, 10 statute miles, and 8,000 scattered. So that's perfect. And to the north of us on San Luis, we've got METAR saying winds completely calm, 10 statute miles and clear. Okay, so we've got some clouds to the south. And we've also got Vandenberg as a military airport, so it seems. Where is it? It's over here. Details, METAR, and there you can also see scattered. It's on 1400 scattered. And scattered at 1700 and broken at 25,000. Now, as a cloud layer, it's also interesting as a marginal VMC kind of rule. Scattered and few doesn't add or doesn't count as a cloud layer officially in VFR, VMC, and IMC terms. So I think if we go to the imagery here very quickly, I'm not going to go through the weather right now because we're just going to do a local flight. So these METARs are just fine. We should also look at some forecasts, some TAFs if those are available. But the point that I try to make here is, let me see. So IMC is ceilings less than 1,000 feet and visibility less than 3 miles, and marginal VFR, marginal VMC is ceilings between 1,000 and 3,000 feet. So if you would read a cloud ceiling of 1,500 feet, but it would be scattered, then that doesn't count as marginal VFR weather. If it was broken or overcast, it would be. So that's interesting. Hey, Scotty. Yeah, I'm quite addicted to flying. I just have an hour or so to fly, so I'm going to squeeze this flight in. So already I apologize for, I guess, the kind of hurry here, which is bad in psychological terms for flying. So we just keep this as a very simple flight. Let's go to San Luis to the north and head back to Oceano. That's it, just a touch and go, and then we're off again to see if I can even manage to do that. Anyhow, so that's about cloud layers and marginal VFR, which is interesting. So only broken and overcast counts as a cloud layer. Why? Because then you cannot, if you fly above it, or you would like to climb through it, there is no space at all for you as a pilot to remain clear of clouds enough to still remain visual, referenced to the ground or other traffic, I guess. And that's why a cloud layer like scattered or few still allows you as a VFR pilot to see other traffic in the terrain, and so that would be just VMC still. Yeah, so let's start right away. Other flight planning that I need to be concerned with just for this local flight. Well, we don't have any very important issues here other than, oh, I see two. We've got a VR military air route here. As you can see, airway 249er. So that means that from 1500 feet AGL and above, we might expect military aircraft. As you've seen in the previous episode, they are actually, that AI traffic is actually generated. So when we go to the south, which is not our plan, we're going to go to the north, to San Luis, but still, we need to be wary of that military traffic. And also to the south, you can see that restricted area 2516. I don't know if it's active, surface and above. I think it is continuous, yeah. So from service to up to forever, it's a restricted area. That's because of that military airspace. So that's not just an area that we need to go to. Hey Ben, welcome. Yeah, very simple. So that's not something that, there's nothing here that we need to consider. Also, navigation-wise, we just need to go up north. I can see some roads here heading up, or one particular road, or that highway also, that's going to go to San Luis. 2 runways, but it seems like one runway is main, it's the biggest one. Let me see if I can have a airport diagram. Taxi diagram, I meant. Love ForeFlight. Yeah, can I just turn it? Yeah, I can. Yeah, so I guess the chances are that we're going to receive that big runway. So runway 29 or runway 11, something that I can already set in my heading bug here, because I already know Oceano here, which is just a plain departure from a traffic pattern, so that's good. So I would rather spend my, or already set my heading bug to one of these runways. And I set it to 11, but I guess considering their winds, which usually come from the ocean, we might receive, chances are we might receive 29. Always land with a headwind. Hey Whiskey, welcome aboard guys. Just a quick stream. So yeah, anything else that we need to consider? Well, chances are that we're gonna, when we land here, we're gonna exit the runway at Foxtrot, and we see there HS, as you can see. There, that means hot spot, and that means that those are, if I'm right, I don't know for sure, but I believe that that means that those are spots, areas on the airport where usually there are conflicts, aircraft conflicts. So those are spots where you actually need to increase your situational awareness and well, be sure that you are doing things right. Those are places where usually accidents happen, I guess, on the ground. That's what a hotspot is. So yeah, that's something that that we also need to consider, because, well, I guess we're gonna exit the runway at Foxtrot near the tower and taxi there. Or we're just gonna do a touch and go, right? And just leave the runway as it is and take off again and head back to Oceano. We could also just stay at San Luis, why not? Especially considering the time, perhaps. Yeah, let's just go to San Luis and stay there. So rather than going back, although if we have enough time, we can do that anyway. It depends on the time. Doesn't matter. We're free to do whatever. Yeah. So clear. That's good. Communication. So San Luis Tower, 124.0. That 379.9, I believe, is a military kind of. Scotty, thank you. My gosh, what a donation! Wow, man, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Man, this is great. Thank you. Thank you. Concentrate, Tim. So that 379.9, I think that is a military frequency. So it has nothing to do with us. I think that's, I don't know why that is the case. That somehow military aircraft have different frequencies. I don't know for sure, but I think that that is what it is. So we only need to be concerned with that 124.0. Scotty, my gosh. Awesome. Top donation. Thank you so much, man. uncertified pilot fame. Ground frequency 1 to 1.6. Oh, I still have my annotation tool enabled. Okay, so this is very, very basic. So chances are that we, if we're going to arrive at San Luis, especially when we're going to use or follow that highway from the south here, so this one, and go up north, that we get instructed to enter the left downwind, runway 29. And so we need to, this is getting a little bit tricky here with two hands, enter that downwind with a 40-degree angle, right? That's the way how you enter that downwind. So yeah, that's then what we're going to do, and then downwind, and then base, and then we land on 29, if you get what I'm saying. Also, we got ADIS 120.6, something that we need to check soon. VMC we already know, but yeah, that's about it, guys. Very short flight. No fuel considerations other than we need some fuel to get out of here, but that's it. Thank you, Scotty, for the compliments. Thank you. And that money really helps me to expand on the stream. First, for getting that chair so that I can stream a bit longer. I'm really looking forward to stream on Saturday and on Sunday for 6 hours straight and just hop through areas and discuss all kinds of cool things and do some practice flights as well. So, well, then it's comfortable if you have a chair where you can just sit without worrying about your back or having back pain afterwards. So any donation amount is much appreciated. Thanks. Okay, so this is going to be our flight. Away with that ForeFlight. Let's just start right off. We're here. What you can see is tie downs. So, well, we can remove those with the exterior walk around. The most important part here is the pitot tube cover, because we're going to test, not in the first checklist flow, but in the second one, whether that pitot tube is actually warming up. So when we do that, let's just remove the pitot tube cover already. So Shift 3, and we remove the pitot cover. Let's also already remove the wheel chocks that we put on the couch behind us or in our bag or whatever. So that is removed. So reset cabin. Control, wheel lock removed. Again, all the switches here are off. I will check them virtually, but as well here on my panel, which are completely in sync. Parking brakes are set. A fire extinguisher is present, and let's pretend that it's in the green. And live vest and all that stuff we don't need, but hey, let's just pretend that they are there too. Windows are closed, door is closed, ELT set to auto, cabin air is still open, heat dust we don't need, flaps are up in the cockpit. Are they also up on the aircraft itself? Yes. Then the levers, mixture lever, yeah, my Saitek panel works, throttle works as well. The alternate is in, so it's off. So we use the primary on this side, the static port. Trim, does it work? It works. Fuel tanks was set to left to prevent cross-feeding. Cutoff is not cut off, which is good. We move upwards to the radio stacks. Off. This is on. AI traffic. I think that is AI traffic, and that is a real pilot. A PilotEdge pilot, so that's cool. But let's not disrupt the flow. I've read about an article that actually says that when you're disrupted in your flows, you should actually start all over. Not as a kind of that you've distracted yourself, but because a disruption in your flow actually increases the likelihood that you miss an item. So that's also an interesting kind of trick, but I feel that we can just start over with this particular item, the radio stash. So from the bottom again, off, looks good. Nothing that we need to check here. Circuit breakers are all in, right, Tim? And the magneto switch is off. Okay, so that's good. Reset cabin is checked. Then we're gonna check the internal systems to see if those are working. So batteries are on. And first we're going to check all the lights. Let me disable TrackIR for you guys. Landing lights, taxi lights, nav lights, beacon is always on, and the pitot heat is on. We're going to go outside and have a look if they are actually on. Taxi lights, landing lights, position lights, you can see the reddish here. Strobe lights also on the other side. I can barely see this green stuff. Beacon light, and near the tail again. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah, and the position light on the tail is on as well. Then we're going to check the stall warning sound, and we're going to check the pitot tube to see if it's warm. And it is, so these systems are working. So that means that we can turn off the lights, bloop, 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 except for the beacon, and the pitot heat is also off. Okay, then we move on in the flow, we go to the right. So yeah, behind here is the avionics, boom, beep. Good, full illumination here of the autopilot, which is good. We move on here to the flaps, put them down. See if they go down in sync. Love the sound set here. Okay, they are down. We move up. Transponder set to test to see if all the digits here are working, and they seem to work. This is all fine by me. We're going to tune these after the engine has started. A enunciator panel. See if all the lights are working. Yeah, and the low fuel is not illuminated. Confirms with the fuel gauge here. I don't know whether the heading indicator actually works just based on the battery or whether the engine should be running. Either way, they are in sync with the magnetic and the heading indicator here, so that's good. And clock we don't really need, other than perhaps temperature, which is just fine. Fuel we have enough, and that's it. So avionics off and battery off. We check the systems. Then we can do the exterior walk around. Keep on our flow. No dust in or stuff that is obstructing the pitot tube. Baggage doors closed. Tie down. Remove. It's gone. Thank you for following, Tonic. Thanks. Here we can see some elements. Now again, I'm working on the cheat sheet, or it's already done, but I'm waiting for permission for A2A to share that sheet with you guys. As soon as I receive that permission, I will let you know. On Twitter, Facebook, all my channels are here. This seems to be just fine. Yeah. Looks good. Connecting rod is good. Connecting rod is good, and they are obviously still connected, and the screw is still on. Then the wiggle of the trim tab below. Okay. We should also just make sure, but it is not simulated here on A2A, but whether the ELT antenna is secure, and here the nav antennas are secure. But hey, flaps, wiggle. There's a wiggle. Let's look at the connectors here. Connecting control arms, they look good, connected. Ailerons are connected. I forgot to do my flight control test. At least I should do that at the beginning. I don't know why. You could also do it at the end, but it's good to have one flow. And on my checklist it says start with the flight control test. So the yoke and the rudders. And I forgot about that today, but also yesterday. But it's even the day before. Hey Lewis, thank you for hosting, man. Thanks. Great. Again, ailerons here look fine. To the front, tie down removed. I like to do these tie down removing things during the walk around as you would, and not before you do your walk arounds. It's a good check here. Okay, we move on. Tires, no wear and tear. Fuel drain, no water in the tanks. We do have physical fuel on board, so our readings are good. Oil, it's getting a bit lower. We're still between 8 and 6, so we need to keep an eye on that. We don't need to replenish our or refresh or change our oil because we're still flying. We haven't reached the 25 hours tachometer hours yet, or haven't been flying for more than 4 months, so the color is still good. We don't need to change the oil. Drain from the engine, no contamination, good color. Then the propeller blades. Man, I thought in the early days that was just a trick question, just to make the thing more real. But actually, A2A simulates there being a chunk out of your propeller, and I saw it once in one of my episodes with the 182, which was just awesome. Intakes, they are clear, no bird's nest, no other stuff. Static port, clear. Other wing, enough gallons, confirmed. Some good color, no contamination. We've got the tires there, no wear and tear. Tie down, remove, stall warning already checked. Fuel vent is clear. Here, all kinds of flight activity behind me. Ailerons look good and connected. Flaps here, there's a wiggle, and the connecting control arms look good as well. And that completes our exterior walk around. Have a quick look. Yeah, that's the AI. Where's the other guy? Is he still here? He's still there. Interesting. Position to start. Also for anyone who's starting on PilotEdge, is recommended to start or connect with PilotEdge if only when you're on the ramp, not when you're on the runway, because obviously now you're obstructing other pilots, and especially on a control tower, a controlled airport, you cannot just suddenly be there. You need to contact ground or even delivery first. So yeah, that's not really a handy thing to do. How are we time-wise? Man, already 15 minutes. Got until 9 o'clock here in Amsterdam time, so that's about 25 minutes. I think we're just going to reach St. Louis and call it a day. Hey Felix, welcome on board. I just have just an hour of time and I really felt like flying, so that's why I'm squeezing this stream in. Okay, so we did our exterior walk around, so then we can do our before engine start briefing, which is just a briefing. What are we going to do first? Well, we're going to fly to St. Louis, to the north, 10 miles. We're going to follow this highway, then contact St. Louis Tower, say, hey, here we are to the south, 5 miles, inbound for a full stop landing. Probably we're going to get a entry for the left downwind runway 29. Let me just also input that into as a flight, because then I also get these extended runway depictions and I know what the runways are. Sometimes I forget. So yeah, the 29 runway. And then we just land and that's it. So it's going to be pretty easy. And 8 is we're going to check soon. So it's a very short flight, but very pretty, I think. I hope, especially with this weather. So that's the briefing. Seat belts. Guys, are you sitting comfortably? Do you fasten your seat belts? Because we're going to close our doors. And it's latched. It's closed, so that's good. We're going to taxi to 29, so to the ocean, because that's probably our headwind if there's any. And also this guy is in front of us, so we're just going to taxi to the left here and cross over the runway and then move to the left until we're at 29. No, it's not 29. I'm mistaking that runway. What is it? Oh, it's also 29 Oceano. Okay, 29, and then we're going to take off and we're going to do a... well, there's a left pattern, right? So what we could do is well, we can just announce a departure just to the north, or a right-hand departure, even though there's left traffic. Yeah, I think we could. We just did take off and go to the right. I think that's just fine. I don't think there's anything against doing that, even though you've got a left-hand traffic. I don't know, guys. Let me know what the regulation is. Hey, Dad, welcome. That's the briefing. Once again, make sure that the avionics are off. They are off, and our fuel tanks are set to both. And we need to do our flight control test, because I forgot about that in the previous checks. Down, up, down, up, elevator, up, down. Also check the trim tab over there. Yep, that's working, and our rudders are working as well. And I would like to test my brakes. Parking brakes released. Differential braking, they feel firm. We'll just, I mean, I have no idea whether virtually actually they are feeling firm, but I'm just using my physical rudder pedals here. So that's good. Parking brake set. Now we can start with the engine start. So batteries are on. We prime the engine. Push in. Fuel flow. 1, 2, 3. Cut off. We saw positive fuel flow there, so that's good. And we are primed. Throttle 1/4 inch in. Make sure that there is no one around. And I think no one is here. Let's also shout it out. Clear prop. And start. Mixture full in. To 1200. Wait until to see whether the oil temperature gets into the green within 30 seconds, which it does. Let's lean the mixture to ground, small dip in RPM, there it is. Let's reset to 1000. We got a volt meaning because we didn't turn our alternator on yet, or generator on. There it is. Let's turn on our virtual headphones, much better. Avionics on, flaps up. Transponder set to altitude, verify that's on 1200 VFR. And it is, and then we can tune some frequencies. 1 to 2.7 was Oceano, is that right? That is right. And what we need is the frequency of the ADIS, that's first, so that's COM2. 120.6. 120.6 in COM2 number, and in the active COM2. And in the COM1 I would like to have on standby the tower frequency, which is 124.0. 124 point 124.0. Chemo, noise sensitive airport for takeoff, runway 29. Pilots required to maintain heading till reaching shoreline. Oh yeah, Chemo, that's a good one. And that kind of information is located. Hey, my iPad doesn't load, or doesn't stream. Let me see. And there it is again. Whoop. That is in the airport facility directory. Oceano details, and that's something that you should always review. So, Chemo, thanks for just mentioning that. Where is it here? Details. Boom, there it is. Oceano. There you can see. I think it should be there. Taxiway lights at only extremely noise sensitive airport and community. Ooh, for takeoff, runway 29 pilots are requested to maintain runway heading till crossing the shoreline. And so each airport has its own local regulations, and they are also always mentioned here in the airport diagram facility, airport facility directory, which should always be part of your arrival or departure. The same thing we should do actually with St. Louis, which is on SBP. Can I just easily search on that? Search for airports. Well, St. Louis, or can I only look for? Thank you for following, Big Ryan. Does that work? St. Louis? Yeah, this one. Boom. Airport remarks. Recurring flux of water vicinity in the airport during winter months. Movement from holding approval during noise sensitive airport. For noise abatement information, contact the airport manager. Well, let's not do that right now. Runway 29 designated calm wind runway. That's that calm wind runway again that I mentioned in the previous episode or the episode before. When there is a winds calm condition, then most airports have their designated runway, which is important to keep in mind. FBO, so nothing really that is quite relevant here in our case. But again, should be part of your pre-flight. Thank you, Chemo, for mentioning. There's other mark that you have to watch out for kites on the beach. Yeah, I've already seen that one. I don't know if that's incorporated here in ORBX scenery. Okay, so that's that. I'd also like to have my scratch pad ready because we're going to contact the tower, which was set on to 4.0, and ground we're going to tune in when we land, I guess, or when we're flying. So now I'd like to tune into the ATIS frequency of St. Louis.
St. Louis airport information, go back 18350, wind calm, visibility greater than 20 miles, sky condition clear, temperature 19.2.11, altimeter 3010, ILS runway 11 in use, landing and departing runway 11.
You have Quebec.
Our aircraft, see direction of flight. All aircraft read back short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Quebec.
Okay. Now Quebec again. That weather information isn't shared here among PilotEdge pilots. It's just prepared here with my own weather set, but it's an information that we're just going to shout out to the PilotEdge controllers to let them know that we are aware that we have the current system, which is not really current for the PilotEdge controllers, but anyway, just part of the training. So Quebec, I wrote that down here on my iPad as a reminder when we tune into tower and say, hey, here we are, you know, we also got the weather. I already know what the weather information is like, or what the code is. So that's why. So that is ADIS, so that's good. So I guess we're ready to go. Set, mixture set, tuner enough frequencies, transponder is set, altimeter is set, heading indicator set to San Luis. Engine is getting warm, just warm here in the green, so we're ready to go. No one is taxiing in front of us. We're going to go to the left and cross the runway and then head over to 29 and depart. Okay. Parking brakes released. Brake test working. Some differential braking here. Heading indicator works. Slip indicator, turn indicator, and the attitude indicator is stable. What a cute airport, guys. I mentioned it so many times in the previous episode, but still. Oceano traffic. Skyhawk is crossing the runway midpoint. Oceano. Perhaps I should stay on the ground, because I could also now, other guys might think that I would overfly the airport. Also keep some speed going here. Oceano traffic, Skyhawk is clear of the runway, continuing taxiing to 29 for departure. Nice spot to park your plane over there. Also love the trees, these are HD trees of ORBX. Also very frame rate friendly. Come on, a little bit more speed here. Keeping 200 or 900 RPM. Around 900 RPM. So now set it a little bit back to keep that continuous speed going. Again, engine is stable, engine is getting warmer. I can see some indicated airspeed here, more than I see or would infer from our ground airspeed, so that means we've got some headwinds, which are probably calm, but still that would say that perhaps we should have taken off from 11, also explaining why the other guy was standing there, already anticipating a departure from 11 because of that headwind. So it's not that dangerous to depart with a tailwind, as long as it's not that strong, because it well, you need more runway, and it can also really blow the wind out under your away under your wings, and give you some nasty drops when you're taking off. This is the run-up area, our power check area. Engine is already in the green, so we are free to do our run-up. Or allowed, or come on, a little bit to come on, there she goes, and park. Okay, window closed, no rubble, stuff that can go into the cockpit, full mixture, fuel tank set to both, and we are warm. Yeah, so let's go to 1800. Thank you for the donation, Alex. Thank you, man. Thanks, guys. Wow. Very, very cool. Feel so excited. It's just a brief flight, and you guys are donating so many money. It's great. So much money. 1800. Engine is stable. Still oil pressure. Engine is getting warm. Engines are stable. No initiator messages. That's good. Left mag. Small drop is good. Back to both. Let's go to the right one. Still go to both. So no fouling of the spark plug. So that means that we're really doing a nice mixture handling up to now. Thank you, Worst, for hosting. Thanks. Then we do a landing light test to see if we see an M-meter charge, and there is. Go full idle. Again, oil pressure is still there. No enunciated messages, no vacuum stuff or volts, or so that's good. There goes some drone traffic. Right, good timing. And back to 1000. Landing lights on, strobe lights on, we're ready to go. What we're going to do is we're going to depart right-hand traffic, and we're going to catch that highway, right? So the coastline, we reach the shoreline, then we move up to the right to a villa, you could say. Here, that vector, that fix. And then we already immediately tune into San Luis and let them know that we are, well, 10 miles or so. What is it? 5 miles. 5 miles south of the airport at a particular altitude. I guess, what's the elevation? 212 of San Luis. So then the traffic pattern and standard would be 1200. That isn't always standard, so let's just check to make sure it's on top. Yeah, MSL 1212 feet MSL pattern altitude, as you can see. I don't know if you guys can read, but on top of there. So okay, so 1200 feet will be just in perfect altitude because we're going to go right in 40-degree downwind. So yeah, 5 miles south, with information Quebec, inbound full stop landing runway. Well, not 29, we're just full. We're just inbound, and we just see what the tower controller tells us to do. That's going to be our departure. We are all set. There's one guy on the runway that we're going to ignore, and let's just do a very brief 360 again to make sure no one else is flying in the pattern and not announcing. Nice clouds. More to the south, as we've seen from the METARs. And I see no planes. As you can see to the north, there's no weather. Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Papatel Tango Mini Mike's departing runway 29 for a northbound departure. Oceano. Mixture full in, lights are on, engine is in the green. Heading bug seems to get aligned with the runway just fine, so heading indicator is set as well. Full power, a little bit of right rudder. Engine is in the green still. Airspeed is alive. 40 on the center line. 50, 60. I'm seeing that airplane in front of me, which is funny. And liftoff. Oceano. Okay, there's the shoreline. Again, airspeed targeting on about 75. There's the shoreline. Nice reflections in the water. Let's just continue our departure a little bit to make sure that we're clear of the traffic pattern area. What scenery! Very nice. Also, I'd like to be a little bit more high up to see San Luis before we do our announcement. So I see here on the map that you can see some city here is still near the shoreline. So that could be a reference point. So that means, I mean, there's also some city over there. That's that bay. Yeah, so it should be somewhere around there. Okay, let's reduce speed so that our fuel flow is in the green. There's our cruising altitude, 1200, or traffic pattern altitude. I'm just going to climb a little bit further on, keeping my landing lights on, because I'd like to just see San Luis before we contact them. You can see the airspace is not just up to the shoreline, so we're just making sure that we're not busting that airspace before we contact San Luis. Let's sign off from the traffic pattern or from the CTAF. Oceano traffic, Sky Papatel Tango Mike is 5 miles northwest of the airport at 1600, leaving the traffic pattern area. Away, switch 12400. I would also like to know San Luis's ground frequency, which is 121.6. 121.6. Already set that one, so that's good. Okay. I think that's the bay. Yeah, I think St. Louis is over there, but you can see the highway already. So I'm just gonna follow that and let's just tune in. Still, I just feel that I need to be climbing a little bit more. You can always descend. Still, speed is good, engine is good. Love the ocean. So the reflections of the clouds. So pretty. Felix, by the way, in the beginning, why did you choose the Cessna 172 for training and not the Cherokee? Just a personal preference? Yeah, I really like the Cessna Skyhawk, and it's also, I guess, more popular than the Cherokee. If you visit a flight school, chances are you're gonna fly in a Skyhawk. It's also one of the first planes that I learned to fly virtually on Flight Sim 5 when I was just a little kid. So some nostalgia also comes into play. Okay, so reducing RPM a bit. We don't need to really rush it. Still, I've got some right rudder in, which is unnecessary. I'll keep my landing lights on because we're still very near Oceano.
R200, runway 30, could land.
Okay, so we're tuned in to PilotEdge, but I think the sound volume is a bit low. This is better. Nice haze, man. This looks so realistic.
That'd be 1 Delta Yankee, Joshua departure, radar contact, clear direct Hector, Clementine 13000.
Okay. Speed 100 I mean. There's the highway again. Let's just stick to around 3000. There's that highway. I see some stuff going on over there. Yeah, that could be San Luis. I know that for sure. So that's good. Okay. Seems about right. And we're kind of like to the south. Yeah. San Luis Tower, Sky Hotel Tango, India Mike is about 5 miles south of the airport at 2,800 with information Quebec inbound for a full stop landing.
PHDIM, San Luis Tower, make straight in, runway 29er, report 3 mile final.
Straight in, 29er will report 3 mile final, Papa Hotel Tango Mike.
San Luis Tower, Archer 1 first,
well.
Victor Charlie 3 mile final 29.
Ooh, another one.
Air6 Victor Charlie, runway 29.
On San Luis. So we got a straight in. That's not something that I would expect, especially when we're flying here right towards San Luis for a downwind. So we got straight in 29.
Contact Los Angeles Center 134.6.
And for the controller's sake, he would like to get reminded of me getting to San Luis just 3 miles before my touchdown, 3 mile final. So I just check in, say, hey, 3 mile final, 29er, and then he will probably say, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, clear for land, 29, and that's it. He didn't clear me yet.
That'd be 111 Delta Yankee Los Angeles Center.
But there was another one, another pilot, who was also reporting 29 final, so we need to be very sure that we're not going to fly into him. Nice scenery here. Oceano to the right of us. Over there somewhere. So I'm not going to enter downwind even though I feel like it because I was instructed straight in. Make sure I don't see that other guy. And also listen to the radio and not chat too much. See the hangars already. I can see that smaller runway over there. Nice. I mean, look at these textures once more, guys. Wow. Don't you think they're gorgeous? They're so much better.
220 clear on Charlie for the hangar.
For 7620 taxi parking via Charlie or Alpha, this frequency pass for the Cat 7.
Taxi to parking via Charlie, this frequency 76220, only just not imagine though.
OpenLC really improves on the sceneries. That was what I like to say. Much better than just Vector. I'm using Global Vector and OpenLC of North America. And if you're a Southern California or even flying in North America, get it.
Cat 6, correct?
Yes, I think, yeah.
Nice golf course. So I'm just circling for final. Still a bit high. Engine is in the green. How are we on time? It's 9 o'clock here in Amsterdam. Just had an hour to fly. So it's going good so far. 2 whites.
Air 9 Mike Romeo contact Fullerton Tower 119.1. See you.
No other traffic so far. Speed, we're on a good flap speed, so let's already put one in. Push down on that yoke. A little bit of nose down trim to help me adjust. RPM set to 1500, that's good. And when the airspeed drops down, our nose will just drop down.
146 Victor Charlie vacated Charlie, requesting taxi transient parking.
46 Victor Charlie, taxi parking via Alpha.
Parking via Alpha, Archer 146 Victor Charlie.
I thought that was an
Fullerton
Archer
Tower,
on St.
November
Louis.
Mike Romeo is 6 to the northeast. We're inbound full stop, 3,300.
Right, 9 Mike Romeo, Fullerton Tower, and a right base, runway 24, clear line.
Right base 24, clear line, Mike Romeo.
80 knots, looks good.
1 Delta Yankee, contact Los Angeles.
2 whites,
3.55.
a bit too high. There we go. A little bit less power, we need to really drop it here. Get to 80. Still a bit too high and too fast, so I'm putting in some right rudder here and just forward slip a bit, so we keep our speed reduced because we put our...
Yankee Los Angeles Center, climb maintain level 250.
This is a 3-mile funnel, by the way. We need to report. St. Louis Tower, Sky Papa Del Tango, and Mike is on 3-mile final 29er.
PHTIM runway 29er, clear line.
Clear land 29er for Papa Del Tango, Mike. Okay, that is a 80 knots. Really love that slipping maneuver. Shouldn't do that with too much flaps on, because then the airflow might be that much disrupted that you actually might stall quite quickly, which is not good on final.
Only to Archer 146 Victor Charlie, shutting down for the Cat 2 rating.
Nice airport, St. Louis. Again, the same kind of textures.
6 Victor Charlie's passed by the Cat 2, good job, we'll see you.
Thank you very much, we'll see you on the next one, Archer 146 Victor Charlie.
Trimming a bit nose up here. It's a really good tip. If you like to improve on your landings, at least in my case, to also trim your airplane while you are on final, especially short final, helps. Also allows your joystick or your yoke to be less sensitive. At least that's what I'm experiencing with my Saitek yoke. So it doesn't just yank if you just give it a very little nudge, small nudge. Yeah, Kimo, you're right. That controller, I don't know why he is called. I believe Kevin is always saying PHTIM. Never Pop Hotel Tango any mic. I don't really care. It's nice. Feels like a VIP. Okay, nose up. Reduce power. Nice. Nice. Good. Now, let's see where Foxtrot was. I think it's over there. Keep on tower, because tower needs to know that we are clear of that runway. Keep some power in here so we expedite our exit. Not too much. Foxtrot, as you can see in the black. A little bit too fast. On San Luis, guys. There we are. Parking brakes are set. Or not set. I'd like to have them set. Oh, my Saitek panel isn't working. That's weird. Wait. Idle. Parking brakes. Set. Yeah. I was still pressing my brakes, I guess, with my rudder pedal. 1000. Leaned. Open a window. Contact ground. Switch. 121.6, I believe. Yeah, it was. Scratch pad in the ready. Whoop. No, I didn't switch. Come on. 124.0. Still need to check in with tower. San Luis Tower, Sky Popitel Tango Mike is clear runway 29, ready to taxi to the north ramp here near the tower.
PHTIM, taxi parking via opposite.
V Alpha to parking, see ya, Popitel Tango Mike. Okay.
Another Mike Romeo parking north or south?
No need to switch to ground. This is also quite regular.
Okay, parking, we're not on the ground
Quite,
yet, but, okay, taxi parking on Macro. Good day.
I think we're gonna go to the left here.
Yeah, you can keep it rolling all the way.
Alright, cool.
It's something that controllers do quite often, because on PilotEdge there's just one controller, especially during times when it's not that busy. And they just say, well, just keep here, just be tuned in on tower, and that's fine. Other controllers just allow you to switch to ground, and you talk to them eventually once more, so it doesn't really matter that much. Best landing yet, thank you, Ben. And Pseudor, thank you for your compliments of my landing. Yeah, it went pretty great. I was going pretty slow. Almost got that stall horn to sound. Where are we going to taxi? Near the tower, which is fine. This is a parking spot, I guess, over there, behind this beach baron. Might be a nice spot.
And now Mike Romeo for the Cat 9.
Also like the fact that I pretty much did the whole checklist from by heart. And it went pretty well.
Thank you.
There we are. And around here. Brakes. Perfect. San Luis, guys. There we are. So then, transponder off. So we are off the radar. Then the avionics off. Cut off. Wait until the propeller has stopped. There it is. Then the magneto is off. So any remaining fuel in the cylinders have been burned off or sparked off. Then the alternator off or generator off, and then the batteries off. Then parking brakes set, and the control wheel lock on. Oh, I still have my landing lights on. Ah, that's something that I forgot. Talking about checklist flows. Yeah. I should have done that after I was instructed to taxi to parking, which I should have. Then the virtual headphones off, door open. And there we are, guys. A very, very short hop, but it's very nice. I like these short hops, really. We can do those in the LA area as well. But here in Oceano, it was perfect. See some clouds coming in. Looking very pretty. Active Sky 2016 with cloud art. Although today, I don't know if you're following me on Twitter. If you don't, please do. I just discovered Rex Force. So the next version evolution of Rex Texture Direct 4. It's called Rex Force 3D. Well, have a look at my Twitter page. I shared a tweet directing to a YouTube movie where they show off what the textures look like. Man, that looks very, very pretty. So yeah, thanks, Kimo. That's the link. Yeah, I'm really looking forward, and I think they're gonna launch that software very, very soon. I'd like to get my hands on that. Really, I don't know if the weather engine, if it also includes the weather engine, or if I should then use Active Sky 2016 again with Rex. Still, these clouds look very pretty as well. But have a look at that video, because Rex is doing some awesome work there. Well, guys, that was it. That was episode 39. So yeah, I intended to go back to Oceano, but it is time now for me to stop and watch another episode of Narcos with my girlfriend. Really cool on Netflix. So I'm looking forward to that. A cup of tea. I need to go to work tomorrow again. So just had an hour to squeeze in to have a nice flight. And I really enjoy having you guys here, 26 of you, here on the Uncertified Pilot channel on this very quick hop from Oceano to San Luis. Guys, once more, thank you so much. Thank you for your donations, by the way. Man, Scotty. 33 euros. My gosh, that's my top donation so far. That's so generous and so kind of you. Also received another donation. I mean, it's great. Alex, thank you so much, guys. Getting close to that 259 euros for that gaming chair, which I cannot wait to order and get replaced with this one. Yeah, especially now. I feel it also in my shoulders, and well, if I'm reading the stuff right, that those kinds of chairs are really good for gaming and also for flying. So guys, short hop. I'm hoping that in the next few days I will get into the air again. We also gonna explore Oceano a little bit more, and then start with our cat ratings, because that's what we're here for. Happy flights, blue skies, and hoping to see you very, very soon. Bye.
Welcome to the Uncertified Pilot. I'm Tim, and this is my flight simulator.